Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to Connect with Control-M. Today we are going to discuss about Postgres backup and recovery. My name is Ricardo Moreira. I'm lead TSA at BMC Software based in São Paulo, Brazil. I have been working at BMC for more than 16 years supporting Control-M for distributed system and mainframe. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce today's panelists, Hugo Arguello and Rafi Euragian. If you have any question at any time during this presentation, please feel free to raise them at the Q&A panel on right corner. We are going to answer them at the end of this session. If you wish to save today's presentation, you can do by going to File and Save. Choose to save as PDF, please. Now, let's check the agenda. During this session, I'm going to present type of backup, what's backed up, what backup and restore process, code backup and restore process, a live demo, tips and tricks, and our Q&A session. So let's start. Terminology. First, let me explain the terminology that we are going to use during this presentation. Hot backup. You can do it with the product running. Cold backup. You must stop the product to execute it. This backup is like a snapshot from your database. Archive. You can do a hot backup. First thing that this utility does is a full backup, creating 2 tar files. After that, all changes are recorded at the archive directory. Restore. It is the process to restore the database to a previous state before any crash or event, like a misdelete something. Types of backup. We have hot backup. This kind of backup is performed while the product is active. It has the advantage of being able to recover at the point of failure. This backup saves all directory PGSQL to a tar file and all changes to another directory. We call them as archive files. Cold backup. This kind of backup is performed while the product is not running, just the database running. With this, you can recover up to your last backup. This backup is like a snapshot. What's the big advantage of cold backup? It is faster, you will see. What is backup? During hot backup, we do a full backup, not just the database contents. We backup the application files as well. Each changes are also saved. Those files are called archives. The path to write is chosen by user. The name the files created during the backup are pgsql.tar and dbname.tar. This backup is like a snapshot from the moment that you execute it. The file created can be read. It's uncompressed. Let's talk about the utilities that we are going to use to do our backup and restore. They are called as DBU, kind of backup, can be hot or cold, and the word backup. At Control-M Enterprise Manager, you must put the prefix EM at all commands. Why you need to do that? The EM will be going to set all variables pointing to Control-M Enterprise Manager. To do a hot backup, the archive mode must be on. You can set it via CTM menu, DBU menu, or DBU archive. You also need to keep the archive files and that first backup. The destination folder must be empty. We recommend to do a backup for those files outside the disk. Now, what we need to do a code backup? At code, you must stop Control-M server and the configuration agent, but the database must be running. Let's talk about the restore process. To do a hot restore, you must stop all processes, including the database. Remember, archiving mode will be set off once the restore is finished. Now, the code restore. You need to stop the Ctrl-M process, but keeping the database running. Let's talk about our demo. What do we need to do? Just a reminder. First, we need to create 2 directories. If you already have them, delete all contents first. After that, we need to set the archive mode to on. Then we execute the hot backup. VMC recommends that you create an external copy of those directories, because if the disk crashes, you'll be able to recover this data. Now, to restore a hot backup, what we need? We need to know the path that we used when we first set the archive mode to on, and the path that we passed as our hot backup, the previous slide. We also need to stop Ctrl-M and the components. Don't forget that. Let me do a live here. Here, I have several tabs, but this is a Ctrl-M server. This will be a Ctrl-M Enterprise Manager. I'm going to do first the Ctrl-M server. I'm going to do a hot backup at Ctrl-M server. Well, just to remember, what we need, 2 directories created to do the backup. I have created the directories called hot backup/archive and the hot backup/full. They must be empty. So let me clean them first. Okay, it's cleaned. Now let's turn on the archive mode. You can do it via CTM menu, DBU menu, or DBU archive. I'm going to use the DBU commands because they will be the same for Ctrl-M server and Enterprise Manager. Mine is off. Let's change it to on. Now it's asking for archive directory. In my case, I have created this archive, this path. Ctrl-M, Ctrl-M server, hot backup, archive. Answer just no or press enter. It takes about 5 seconds to finish. We can check if the archive mode is on using the command dbu status. Let's do that. As you can see here, the archive mode for hot backup equals on. Let me clean this to make it easier. Now let's execute the hot backup itself. This is going to be for Ctrl-M server. Note that after we turn on the archive, it asks for do a hot backup. That's what we are doing now. Let's wait it finish. My DB is small, doesn't take long to finish. Mine normally takes about 1 minute. While the backup is running, let me explain the parameter that I have passed. Trace level can be info, log, or error. Backup directory, an empty directory to save the hot backup. Administrator password. The parameter speaks for itself. Remove unnecessary logs. Please, yes. We recommend to set it a yes. It will delete all unnecessary files. Now, let's review what we did so far while the backup is running. I must have 2 empty directories, one for full backup and other for archive. I pass here the full backup. The previous one was one I set to on. We must turn the archive mode to on. We did the previous. We can check if it's on using the command dbu status. Okay, finished. Note that says, protect your backup here. And it says the 2 paths that I used, this one and this one. This means make an external copy of it. Let's check the file that we have created. This is the, as I said before, this is the pgsql.tar and ctrlm900.tar. ctrlm900 is the name of the database. If this was Ctrl-M Enterprise Manager, This name would be EM900. Let's see the archive one. Just to prove that this is a real-time backup, I'm going to do a small change at our database. I'm going to use the Control-M Enterprise Manager GUI to do it. Just a reminder, this archive tends to grow. Here, I have 4 jobs. I'm going to put all of them in hold. Then I'm going to another new one. As this is a hot backup, all of this should be in my backup if I do a restore, right? Now let's do the restore. First thing, we need to stop everything, including the database. Let me explain the command that I just executed. Shoot CA is going to shoot down the Control-M agent. Control-M configuration agent, sorry. Shoot CTM is going to shoot down the Control-M server. DBU stop is going to shoot down the Postgres database. -force. If you choose yes, it's going to ignore all pending transactions. It's going to do like immediately. With no, it waits all pendings be resolved. Now that Control-M server and database are stopped, let me do the restore. Let me clean this first to make it easier to read. As my environment is not big, it's going to finish soon. Normally it takes about 1 minute and a half. While it is restoring the database, let's double check the parameters that I passed to do a root backup utility and with more details. Trace level, as I said before, can be info, log, or error. The difference is info is going to show just a few information at screen, as you are going to see. Log do the same as a info, but it also records a log. The error do the same as a info, but they record a detailed log. Those logs are kept where? Are kept at home, ctm_server, /ez dos, /dbu data, /log. Let me explain what this command is doing right now. It will rename the actual Postgres directory from PGSQL to PGSQL old. Then it's going to extract all tars file from our full backup directory. After that, it's going to apply all changes from our archive directory. And at the end, it will turn off the archive mode. So you need to turn it on again when your environment is up and running. As you can see here, it's showing that's off. Let me start the Control-M now. Okay, let me go here. It's going to take some seconds to synchronize. Let me say some advantage and disadvantage of hot backup. Advantage: when you restore a DB, you can restore a DB without losing any change. It keeps all changes at our archive directory. Disadvantage: needs more disk space. Database transaction can be a little bit slower. Now that's up, let's see. As you can see, everything is here. All changes that we made so far. Now, let's see what we need to do a code backup. First, we need to stop all Control-M process, check if the database is running. We also need another directory to save the code backup. Now, to restore the code backup, what we need? First, we need to stop all controlling process. Be sure the database is up and running, as we did at our backup. We also need the full backup name with path. We also have other kinds of backup. At Control-M server, we have one called CTM underscore backup underscore BCP and CTM restore underscore BCP. This is a bulk copy of database contents. It can be executed with Control-M running, but the restore, you must stop Control-M server process. At Enterprise Manager, we have the EM-util and some exports, like export def call, export def job, export def table. You may use these exports to be opened via Control-M Enterprise Manager GUI, like a draft from older version. Probably you are going to ask, why should I use this instead of the one that you are just showing? Well, I would answer like, because these backups are supplementals. Because you can have more flexibility. Because you can restore just a table and so many reasons. Now I'm going to do a code backup. I'm going to do at Enterprise Manager, okay? To do a code backup, as this is a test environment, I'm going to clean all the backups that I have taken so far. Please remember, you need a place to put your backup. To do the code backup, I must stop all Control-M components, keeping just the database running. To do it faster, as this is an EM environment, I'm going to use CTL commands. If you're not familiar with this kind of command, CTL, you can use the root menu if you are running Control-M Enterprise Manager on Unix environment, or if you are running on Windows machine, you may use services to do this. We need to wait until the GUI server and gateway stop. Let me check. The gateway is still running. Oh, just finished. Cool. Okay, let's do the Control-M Enterprise Manager code backup. Control-M Enterprise Manager code backup using this command. As I said before, the code backup is faster than hot backup. This is the huge advantage of it. It doesn't take 5 seconds. Let me explain what we are going to do now. We are going to make some changes by SQL command. I'm going to delete the contents of any table, I don't know which one. Let me emphasize, I'm doing this just to prove that this backup is going to work. We do not recommend that you do this kind of change at your environment. I have a query here. As you can see, we have 4 records there at this table, def job. I'm going to delete it. Deleted. Let's double check. Now we have 0, right? Now let's restore the code backup. You need to be sure that the Control-M Enterprise Manager components are stopped, just keeping the database online. As mine are already stopped, I don't need to care about it. Because if you have any process running, you are going to receive an error saying that this command may corrupt the database because they have one or more processes running. Just to clarify, what do we expect to see with this test? As this is a code backup, all change that we made since the code backup will be lost. In our case, the table deletion will be recovered. So let's restore the code backup. We can restore using this command. The restore is faster as well. Doesn't take more than 10 seconds. Okay, restore complete. Let's check back the data at our database. As you can see, we have a 4 again. Why this happened? As our code backup was taken before the deletion, because of this, we lost all the changes. The database was recovered. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks. We recommend to execute the code backup jobs at least once a day. You can use Ctrl-M jobs to do it. When using hot backup, be sure that you have enough disk space. As I said, the archive tends to be growing very fast. Code backup are like a snapshot. They are faster to take, but the product needs to be stopped and you cannot restore at any time, just up to the time that it was taken. Here we have an example. How do I execute a hot backup? Like this. You can create a job with this line command. Remember, if you are doing at the Ctrl-M Enterprise Manager, you must put the prefix EN. If you prefer use menu instead of line commands, you can use at Ctrl-M Server the dbu_menu, or at Ctrl-M Enterprise Manager the EN dbu_menu. We have at our support site those articles that explain about backup best practices. I hope that this information was useful.